Thanks for tuning in to Healthy Planet One, where we discuss healthy living from experts in each of their fields. This is your host, Patricia Starr.
And your co-host, Kimberly Knock. Welcome, everyone. Today's guest on Healthy Planet One is Sheri Suiter. And we're going to be talking about the exciting area of stem cell exosomes. So welcome, Sheri.
Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hi, Sheri. It's Patricia. Nice to have you with us.
Yeah. So Sheri is a Sarasota local, and she's had a varied and successful career in the medical field over 23 years. She's bringing this full range of passion. I love your passion in the area of regenerative aesthetic modalities. She has many different modalities. Creating beauty from the inside out is her passion. And we would love for you to share what is regenerative aesthetics and lead into this exciting area of stem cells.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. Regenerative aesthetics is a really fascinating field of medicine that has branched off of regenerative medicine. And what regenerative medicine means is using the science of the body. What is the body doing to heal and repair itself? And so we've really been able to tap into that, into the last about 30 years, but really in the last 5 years, and even in the last 2 years, we have learned so much in this field as we have better technology, better electron microscopes. We really are seeing the light, that the body is a electric light being, and we're trying to hone in on what creates the light, and light means life. And when we start dimming our light, we start losing our life slowly, slowly. We're all going to do it. But we want to do it, when people say gracefully, that means doing that to the best quality and keeping that temple that you have to the most vibrant, high energy form at the cellular level. So regenerative aesthetics is taking things like autologous, meaning from your own body, like PRP. PRP is platelet-rich plasma, which we can really take from your own body within 10 minutes. We separate this plasma in a centrifuge, has all these growth factors and these energetic proteins that communicate. Everything in life is about communication, we're finding, and information. And so how can we turn on and give the right information to the cells? We're finding over the last 100 years, drugs really are not giving the light and turning the light back on. They're just, ameliorating the symptoms. So what we're finding is if we use these growth factors, cytokines, exosomes, your stem cells, use your own blood, you can regenerate your body. But what we're finding is this is really advanced. Since I talked to you last time, I was talking a lot about AMNION and PRP. Now it's really about mesenchymal bone marrow stem cell exosomes. We found that if you use these exosomes, which are really little messenger bubbles that stem cells make to talk to yours. So using these signals, we can regenerate the body. And that's the field of regenerative aesthetics.
So let's talk about cells and communications. You and I have that conversation quite a bit. Cellular communication, about aging, about glyconutrients, about even molecular hydrogen. I mean, just how the cells communicate, and people having to understand how energetic the body is. You even spun my plasma. It was fascinating.
Yes, and it's glowing energetically.
Yeah, so for people to understand that at the cell level, this communication is really important.
Absolutely. This communication is everything. Once we lose communication, we lose the life force, and the body degenerates one system at a time. So when we can turn on these communication pathways, basically it's paracrine signaling, which means cell-to-cell communication. And we can do a lot of things. About 20 years ago, I was doing research with ambertose like glyconutrients. And these glyconutrients, it's all about cell-to-cell communication. And what that means is every cell makes signals that communicate. Every cell has their own language, their own information packets that they send to each other. But specifically, the ones we're honing in on are mesenchymal bone marrow stem cells, because these are the number one paracrine signaling, meaning the number one things that create cell-to-cell communication at the ground level, meaning the stem cell in our bodies are the stem cells, the cells that can really create anything that you put them next to. They are these cells turn on everything. So it's all about cell-to-cell signaling using things like frequencies, using things like supplements like glyconutrients create that subtle cell signaling. But these exosomes are so powerful that we're seeing phenomenal changes. It's really the beginning of, it's the future of medicine, is biohacking the body to maintain that cellular energy.
So we also talked about the proteolytic enzymes to help clean up that communication too. People might hear that. So what you're telling everyone, and even if they don't remember bone marrow, exosomes, they're getting this knowledge that cell-to-cell communication is one of the most important things, especially as we age. Is that correct?
It is the number one thing. It's the number one thing from the time we're created. Mm-hmm. It's how those cells communicated to create every organ system for one specific cell type. And it's how, as we age, we start losing that ability. So we start losing the cellular energy, starts depleting faster than it's replacing itself. And so what we're doing with these different modalities to improve the cell-to-cell communication is lighting up that fire, getting them to start signaling themselves, turning on your innate dormant stem cells, but using things that mitigate inflammation, like systemic enzymes, like glyconutrients, like curcumin. There's a lot of different things that we're using, that are really improving those signaling. And so how can we increase the signals, improve that restorative repair faster than we're degenerating it? So remove the things that are damaging the cells in the body, like pollutions, toxins, even mindful breathing and getting your body back into the parasympathetic nervous system. All these things synergistically vamp up that regenerative properties to keep us at a cellular level young.
Right. And so who may benefit from this? And do you have a really cool testimonial of someone that you're working on?
Oh, I have so many. But honestly, everybody who has cells can benefit. So it's learning it step by step. So it's coming to people like yourself who's going to really clean up the body from the inside. It's coming to people like Patricia who's, really revamping that body, improving that vibrational energy and healing. It's coming to people like me and who have that knowledge and networking together, because it's day by day, step by step, just improving your lifestyle so the body has the ability to repair. And, you start at the cellular level. You start every day when you wake up and have the positive thoughts and have the thoughts of 528 and love. Then you do it with the nourishment. But when you really want to come to the body and biohack it and really make some big changes, you need people that you can come to create a customized plan based on your needs. And so that's kind of what we work on at our clinic. And I refer to people like you because it takes a team and it's synergistic, but it's day by day, step by step. We can do little things that we can add into our lifestyle to make those changes, to get those cells really working.
So, hi, Sheri, Patricia.
Hi.
First of all, I just want to acknowledge you for your expertise and your obvious depth in terms of understanding something that's maybe more challenging for people who don't have the background that you have. And we've been throwing around the word exosomes, and I know that you really understand that. But can you, in layman's terms, explain that for people? Because I think your message is so important, beauty from the inside. And normally people go, well, what does my doctor say? Or what does my insurance pay for? And they're going to miss all this. So how can you give us, to our listeners, something that they can really get their hands around?
You mean in understanding how it works and how the communication?
And the word exosomes and that. I mean, it's really important what you're saying. So I just want to be sure it's not missed.
Yeah. So I know it's a really weird sounding, crazy word, but really all it is information that one cell sends to another. So it's like sending a text message. If I send you a text message in Japanese, you might receive the message. I conveyed my message to you, but you might not be able to understand, read it, and utilize it. But if I sent you a message in your own language, you're going to use that message and use that information to benefit, whatever your goal is. So if it's having energy and vitality and creating repair and all these things, if we give you the right information, All an exosome is an information, a text message that one cell sends to another. All cells have exosomes. There's all kinds. Skin cells have exosomes. But I'm not going to regenerate your body with a skin cell because it's just going to make a skin cell. So what we use bone marrow stem cells because they can become any cell. So it's just a little bubble that's secreted by a cell that is an information text message. And it's basically a blueprint of your DNA, but at the youngest, healthiest, most vital level. So it picks it up and basically resets itself. So it's just an information bubble that the cell can swallow. Your own cells pick them up, swallow them, and light back up in the most youthful, energetic way that it was created from the beginning.
So I love what you said about how drugs, we take a pill or we take, a vaccine, for example, that's got drugs in it, how that doesn't really have the light or the information, if you will. Is that how I understand that?
Yeah, a lot of these drugs are designed because what we're finding out is all disease is inflammation. So a lot of these drugs are designed specifically to target the system or the cell that we're trying. Let's say you have arthritis. So somebody is taking ibuprofen, right? So what ibuprofen is knocking out that inflammatory reaction, but we're not really fixing the cause. So what we're trying to do with all the integrative stem cell technologies and other modalities that give you the resources is to fix the source of the issue. These drugs are really just covering up the symptoms. Say, hey, I have pain, I have this inflammation, I get swelling after I run, so I take some ibuprofen and it's all gone. Well, that's not really curing the problem. It's just masking and covering up your symptoms. And it's also possible that you're going to have kidney disruption from taking that ibuprofen. So there's always a side effect. To become a drug, you have to have an LD50. It's a lethal dose that kills 50% of the population tested. And so every drug has an LD50 to exist as a drug. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a pharmaceutical. It would be a nutraceutical. And so what we're trying to do is minimize all these LD50s and vamp up the cells, fix the cause. So we want to repair the damage at the cellular level, not just cover up the system of inflammation.
So from a layman's standpoint, so vaccines, are they the answer? Will they bring light into the body? Will they bring these exosomes you're talking about?
They do not bring these lights. There is a lot of controversy, obviously, right now going on, and for several years going on in vaccines. And it's the same thing. There might be something that's very beneficial for your immune system or immune modulation in this vaccine that might help you right now, but there are a lot of other components and adjuncts that are in these that have not been tested and that are not safe and that can have significant side effects on many people, especially when, let's say, in the younger population, there's like 50 some vaccines, and a lot of them have heavy metals and other things. And if your body is not set up to have a clean detoxification pathway and plan, then it's going to get bogged up and have systemic side effects. So what I really try to do is integrate the Western, the Eastern, and the divine of how does the body really work? Let's repair that and minimize how we're masking the symptoms. Some people are going to be on medication.
So let's get back. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a pause there.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to bring us back to beauty and all of the great
Kimberly.
Yeah, all of the regenerative, beautiful things that you do using those. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is, after 20 years in medicine, I said, okay, what do we really want to do and what's really healing the body? And I found out that, prescribing these medications sustained for a lot of people who weren't really willing to improve their diet, exercise, and change their lifestyle. Sometimes they just want to easily swallow a pill and have it covered by insurance. But every year, significantly, people are reaching out to me and saying, hey, I don't want to take these medications. I don't want to do these drugs. I want to feel better. I want to have a more active lifestyle into my retirement. And I want to feel beautiful and look good doing it, And so what we're using a lot of these new growth factors and technologies for is really to grow the hair. People want to grow their hair back. They don't want to, in their prime time of their life, have bald spots from all the stress falling out. So we can really use these things in so many different ways. So we use them in concentrated forms to regenerate the hair follicles.